Silver. What's next? The charts are talking. Silver is at a crucial level. Will it surge higher or take a dive? The technicals are setting up for a big move, and we are breaking it all down right now. Before we begin, just hit the subscribe button. This is the silver wave. This is the wave that started on February 14th, and we are seeing here a fairly strong impulse down. And this happened last Friday. And if we look at this impulse, this is something like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After that, silver spent almost the entire week of trying to revert this particular structure, trying to move higher and close at a higher high. However, it failed. This is a corrective wave here, and at best it can be split as an ABC formation or WXY. So depending on the counts, but anyway, in both cases, this is a corrective structure. Right now, what we are seeing, silver is trying to form an impulse down, and it started with a diagonal. This wave is not entirely reliable. However, we are seeing it has strong technical support. And if we put the numbers here and put the structure, this is how this wave would look like. So we have a top on the February 14, an impulse down, the wave WXY, potentially either wave B or wave 2 of an impulse of a higher degree. And right now, after 1, 2, silver is potentially in wave 3 of a higher degree. So most possibly it's gonna be wave 3, then it's gonna be wave 4, and finally wave 5. So this is a preliminary target right now based on most customary Fibonacci ratios, and if we try to project this wave like this, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the big, and if silver makes this big impulse, obviously we will be talking about a bigger one, a bigger correction. This is the wave at the micro level, and if we look at the slightly bigger picture, this is what we have been tracking since the middle of October. We have an potentially impulsive wave, but most likely it's in ABC, and now we have wave B, which can end up with wave C, or it could be wave 2 of a bigger correction, and now we are looking for potential wave 3 here. Oh, the green count also remains on the table. Silver might decide to go for a bigger correction before moving lower. That's the perspective. Now let's have a look at the very big chart. So what is possible here, and what are the perspectives? If we look at silver in year 2011, we can see that potentially silver formed an impulse down, somewhat, by the way, somewhat similar to what it did right now at the micro level. And we know that impulses down are never alone. After a corrective wave, which is possibly here in ABC, we might ABC of a bigger wave B, which can end either here or here. We might see an impulse down, which will complete this big correction that started in 2011. So for now, what we are seeing here is the potential for a blue count, and if silver starts a fairly strong impulse and continues on, this would be the perspective. However, we still need a lot of confirmation down the road, and the confirmation can come from the candles. Let's have a look at the candles closure. This is an important one, and today we are seeing a fairly strong inside down candle, which is an equivalent of a bearish engulfing, and this big hammer last Friday. Last Friday is a bearish engulfing and a hammer altogether. We said that silver needs to close above this red line in order to make it bullish, in order to open path to higher highs. But unfortunately, it failed here with a strong bearish formation. And this bearish formation was so powerful that it also formed a dark cloud cover and a hammer on the 2-day frame, which also closed today. This is significant, and now we are looking into the weekly frame. So weekly frame is technically bearish because it failed to close above the high of the previous candle for 2 weeks in a row, and this is something I'd like to compare with oil. If you had a chance to look at our oil analysis today, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. Just look at these candle structures, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, and then a huge big move down. This happened today with oil, but this is the weekly frame for silver. So far, there is a good chance, I would say a very strong chance, for silver to make a big red candle next week, especially if it follows up on the daily frame after this big bearish formation. All right, so now let's flip back to silver and have a look at the monthly frame. So what we are having on the monthly, this is a very interesting indeed. So in November and December, technically it was a confirmed reversal of the top and a move down. However, silver decided to challenge it, and it formed a bullish engulfing. However, it wasn't very strong and requires a confirmation. Now we need to see if silver is serious about its bullish path. It needs to close February above this red line. If it fails, it will be bearish and it will move down. Most likely move down. And if you look at the 2 months frame, which is closing in 6 days, this is a bearish sandwich. So far, it looks like it. We'll see how it closes. And another candle I would like to show you, this is a quarterly one. Quarterly in Q4 closed with a strong hammer and a bearish engulfing. So far, there is 1 month and 10 days to go for silver to challenge it. It needs to close above the high of December. Is it possible? Well, maybe, but we need to look at it. So far, we are watching the weekly frame, which has a very good potential for flipping bearish next week, especially if we consider the daily and 2-day closure today. And the final one I would like to show you is SLV ETF. We mentioned early this week that after such big red candle, we need to see a closure below 29.12. In this case, silver will move down. If it closes above this red line, above the high of this red candle, it will be bullish path. So far, we are seeing it's a doji on Thursday and a huge bearish engulfing on Friday, which also impacted the weekly, and weekly formed a spinning top. So, which requires confirmation, by the way. So generally, I would say that as soon as we see a closure with a red candle below 29.12, the top will be formed, and most likely the weekly will be confirmed. This is the perspective for silver for the next couple of days and the next week. And if this is confirmed, then we would be looking for much lower prices and a potential huge impulse down. Well, that wraps up our quick update on silver. Stay tuned for our weekly analysis on investingangles.com. Follow us on Twitter, on Telegram, on Reddit, and support us with your likes and with your comments. Thank you very much for watching, and happy trading, everyone.